In the small, bustling town of Odomese, there lived a man named Kwaku Dente, known by everyone as Money Man. He was not the richest man in town, but he was the most feared lender. His little kiosk sat under a large mango tree beside the lorry station, painted in red and white with bold letters. Kwaku Dente Loans. Fast cash, no delay. People who needed quick money for hospital bills, school fees, or business always ran to him. He had a calm smile, a sweet tongue, and a reputation for helping people in need. But behind that friendly smile was something dark, something strange that no one understood. Kwaku was not an ordinary lender. He had a secret Juju charm from an old fetish priest he once visited deep in the Volta forest. The charm had one purpose: to make anyone who borrowed money from him forget the exact amount they took and agree to pay whatever he demanded later. Every night after locking up his kiosk, Kwaku would bring out a small wooden box covered with white cloth and cowrie shells. Inside was a black powder and a small carved figurine of a man holding a bag of coins. Kwaku would sprinkle the powder on his money and whisper, "Nya me sika na wonka ho." Take my money, but never remember the truth. And that was how his wicked business thrived. One morning, a market woman named Akosua Dapa came to him in tears. "Kwaku, my son is sick. I need only 200 cedis for hospital bills. Please help me," she pleaded. Kwaku smiled softly and handed her a bundle of notes. "Don't worry, Akosua. Bring it back in 2 weeks. I'll take just small interest." She thanked him and left, but when the 2 weeks came and she returned with C220, Kwaku looked shocked. "Ah, Akosua, are you joking? You took 500 CDs. Do you want to cheat me?" Akosua frowned. "Hey, me? I took only 200. But as she argued, her voice began to shake. She suddenly became confused. Her memory blurred. The charm had worked. She started to doubt herself. Maybe it was 500, she murmured. Kwaku smiled cunningly. "Good woman. Pay 600 and go in peace." She paid and left, still confused, wondering if her memory was playing tricks on her. Soon, almost everyone in Odomese owed Kwaku money, and everyone was complaining but couldn't explain how much they had truly taken. Some swore they took C100, yet he claimed C400. Others said they borrowed C500, yet he demanded C11000. But strangely, each time they tried to remember, their heads would spin like they were under a spell. The townspeople began whispering, "Something is not right with that man." But who would challenge Kwaku Dente? He was now rich. He owned 2 taxis, 3 shops, and had even started building a big house at the town's entrance. One day, an old man named Nana Kumsin came from a nearby village. He was a retired teacher known for his wisdom and strong faith. He heard about Kwaku's strange dealings and decided to test him. He went to the kiosk and said, "I need a loan of 500 cedis." Kwaku smiled and performed his usual charm after handing the money. But Nana Kumsin, before taking it, silently whispered a prayer over the notes. Unknown to Kwaku, the old man carried a small bottle of holy water and sprinkled a drop on his palm. 2 weeks later, he returned. Kwaku crossed his legs and said confidently, "You took 1,000 cedis, so you must pay 1,300. The old man laughed. "You lie, Kwaku. I took exactly 500 cedis." Kwaku's eyes widened. The charm didn't work. For the first time, he felt a burning heat on his forehead. He shouted, "You! What did you do?" The old man stood up calmly. "You have stolen from many with your charms, but your power ends today." He opened his palm and blew the remaining holy water towards Kwaku. Instantly, Kwaku screamed. His eyes rolled back and the Juju box under his table began to shake violently. The carved figurine cracked into pieces and the black powder turned into ashes. People rushed to the scene as Kwaku fell to the ground, begging for mercy. "Forgive me. I only wanted to be rich. I didn't mean harm." But the charm had turned on him. From that day, Kwaku Dente lost his memory. He couldn't remember anything, not who owed him, not how much money he had, not even where he lived. Ironically, the same curse he used on others had found him. Akosua Dapa and the other victims forgave him, though they never got their money back. The town elders took over his property and used it to build a community clinic, the same one Akosua's son later worked in as a nurse. And as for Kwaku Dente, he became a humble man who wandered the market, asking people for small coins to buy food. Everyone who passed him whispered, "When you use charms to cheat others, you charm your own future." After Kwaku Dente's downfall, peace seemed to return to Odomese. The townspeople stopped borrowing from suspicious lenders, and everyone became more careful with money. Kwaku himself now roamed around the market, disoriented, often muttering to himself, "How much did you take? How much did you take?" People pitied him, dropped coins in his bowl, and warned their children never to walk in the path of greed. But as months passed, something strange began to stir again. Kwaku had a nephew named Kojo Bediako, a smooth-talking young man who worked as a spare parts dealer at the station. Kojo had always admired his uncle's wealth before the fall, the taxis, the new house, and especially the respect people showed him. One day, while cleaning his late uncle's abandoned room, Kojo stumbled upon a half-broken wooden box hidden under a pile of clothes. Inside, he found cowrie shells, ashes, and a small carved figure, the same charm that had once ruined his uncle. At first, Kojo laughed. "So this is what made Uncle rich? Ha! Maybe it will work for me too." Ignoring all the stories, Kojo took the figurine to a roadside spiritualist in a nearby town called Insaba. The man looked at the charm and gasped, "Hey, my son, this thing carries the spirit of Aduam, the spirit of deceit. It ruined its owner." Kojo smirked. "Then teach me how to control it." The spiritualist warned him, "If you use it for evil, the spirit will demand something precious." But Kojo's eyes glittered with greed. "Teach me. I don't fear spirits, I fear poverty." And so the man taught him the same incantation Kwaku once used. "Nya me sika na wonka ho." Soon, Kojo started lending money. He called his business Bediako Financial Aid. His first customers were his friends, and, just like before, the charm worked perfectly. He'd lend someone C300, and when they returned, he'd swear they took C800. They'd scratch their heads, look confused, and agree to pay. The Juju had returned to Odomese. Within months, Kojo bought a motorcycle, new clothes, and built a kiosk, even bigger than his uncle's. People whispered again, "This looks just like Kwaku Dente's time." But this time, the spirit inside the charm was hungrier. It had tasted greed before and wanted more. One stormy night, Kojo sat in his room counting his money. Suddenly, the figurine inside the box started shaking on its own. The cowrie shells rattled, and a whisper filled the air. "You took what is not yours." Kojo froze. "Who said that?" The whisper grew louder. "You took what belonged to others. Now I will take from you." He tried to throw the charm away, but his hands stuck to it. He screamed as a dark wind blew through the room. His lights went off and he saw a shadow, tall, faceless, but carrying a bag of coins that jingled like chains. The shadow spoke. "Your uncle forgot money. You will forget yourself." By morning, Kojo was found wandering near the lorry station, barefoot, holding coins and repeating the same line his uncle once muttered. "How much did you take? How much did you take?" The people of Odomese gathered, terrified. The elders called for Nanakumsin, the wise old man who had defeated the charm years before. He came with the same bottle of holy water and declared, "This spirit feeds on greed. It cannot die, but it can be sealed." He ordered the charm and both men's belongings to be buried under the giant mango tree where it all began. Then he poured libation and prayed, "Let no man in this town again seek wealth through wickedness. Let honesty bring our blessings." As he poured the final drop of water, thunder rolled and a heavy wind blew through the town. When it settled, everyone felt a strange calm, as if a long curse had finally lifted. Years later, the mango tree under which the charm was buried grew enormous, with roots that twisted like coiled snakes. No one dared sit under it, but travelers passing by said they could sometimes hear faint whispers beneath the rustling leaves. "How much did you take?" And from that day, the people of Odomese had a saying whenever someone tried to cheat them: "Be careful before the moneylender's charm finds you." The moral lesson of this story is that evil may sleep, but it never dies. It waits for another greedy heart to awaken it. True wealth is not in what you take from others, but in what you earn with honesty. Thank you for watching my video to the end. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more African tales. Until next time, may your path be blessed.